Hi, I'm Dan, and welcome to Gaming Comments Episode 6. Today, I'm going to do something a little bit different and talk about a game series. I'm talking about Skylanders. Now, I know you're probably thinking, Skylanders is not really a hardcore game out there, but I'm a father, and it's a great game to play with your kids. So I'm going to talk about Skylanders, not specifically about the games, but I want to talk about the characters. But maybe I should start off with telling you why I bought Skylanders to begin with. This guy, Spyro the Dragon. Now, I remember way back in the 90s when I got a demo of the original Spyro the Dragon. I can't remember if it was on a jam pack or a demo disc from the official PlayStation magazine. But I remember loving it, and I played the games from then on. Unfortunately, after Insomniac stopped making them, the game quality kind of dwindled. But when Skylanders came out, Skylander, of course, the original was called Spyro's Adventure, didn't focus on Spyro the Dragon himself. It focused on a whole array of characters. They just happened to feature Spyro, and because Spyro was already known, there you go, there's a selling point. But the game was solid, with some minor animation issues. Then they released Giants, fixed all those animation issues, and still released quite a solid game, even though it was focused a little too much on the puzzle solving. But like I said, I don't want to get too much into the games. I want to talk about the characters themselves. Now, the issue I had is the release of their characters. In the first series of characters, you got the original ones, and then you got variants. Now, the variant characters had different stats. But when Giants came out, their variants had the same stats. To me, that was an issue. It really diminished why to buy the variants. I picked up variants because they had different stats from the first game. Was really disappointed when the variants in the second game really didn't have any different stats. Unless, of course, you got a legendary one. Now, the legendary characters are exclusive to Toys R Us. But those characters kept the different stats, but all the other variants didn't. And it kind of diminished the whole reason, like I said. Now, in both of them, they had color variants. Now, the color variants didn't offer anything different. They appeared just like their regular versions in-game. But the toy looked different. So there really wasn't any point in collecting them, unless you were specifically just collecting the toy itself. Or you came across it because it was part of a starter pack. Sorry, just a second. That would tickle my throat. Sorry about that. So let's get back on topic. Now, also the release of the games, the characters I should say, I have a huge issue with. Generally, the initial release, you got a good chunk of characters. And then Wave 2 comes around, and you get another good amount of characters, and it usually comes around a couple weeks later. And then you get like over a month span with no characters coming out. Well, no new ones. And you kind of lose interest. I know my kids lost interest in Giants after the second release, and when new characters came out, it kind of peaked up their interest slightly, and they'd play the character once and they stopped playing it. That's a huge problem. I really hope Activision is watching this, and I hope they get the characters straight. Let's get that fixed. Get them out in a timely manner. If you're going over a month span, you're going too long. Also, in the first series, which they fixed, by the way, they had exclusive characters exclusive to different stores. Now, they've done that with Giants as well, and they're going to do that with Swap Force. But the issue they had there was in the initial release, the characters were core characters, whereas in Giants, they were just different variant colors, so it wasn't that important. The main issue I had with the first release was that one of the characters was exclusive to Target. At that time, Target wasn't in Canada, so the only way to get it was to cross the border. Needless to say, I didn't cross the border at that time, but they ended up making it released to all stores, I think, the following year. Not full year, calendar year I'm talking about. Luckily they fixed that, and they just made Giants have exclusive variants, so it wasn't that big of a deal. Especially since the variants really didn't have different stats, like I mentioned before. Now I really hope Activision fixes all these issues with Swap Force, which comes out tomorrow, since I'm recording it literally the day before. So if you're interested in Skylanders, and you don't know, it comes out tomorrow. Well, that's all I have to say. I don't want to drag this on too long. So if you like what you see, feel free to subscribe, or follow me on Twitter @GamingComments. Now I know I said I wouldn't give you an announcement of what I'm going to talk about the following week, but I got my hands on an Xbox One to play. The Xbox was doing their tour, and they came by locally, and I stopped by and tried it out. So I'm going to talk about that next week. So, until then, bye.